it should be pretty hard to screw up a Friday the 13th film.
I mean, people go to Camp Crystal Lake or nearby, or maybe Jason takes a vacation to New York or something, and then, well, Jason does his thing.
What? If every Friday the 13th after it's going to try to find some way to use that Corey Feldman die clip, I think I'm pretty much obligated to use it.
And speaking of Corey Feldman, his character Tommy regenerated and got older after Feldman himself was too busy with the Goonies to film anything more than a cameo for the 5th film, which is where he became the new killer of the series.
Almost, but that went over poorly, so the Jason came back the very next film, despite having been killed off.
Yes, the final chapter originally was supposed to be the final chapter for Jason Voorhees at the very least, but just like when Halloween tried to change what the series was about, everyone just wanted their same masked killer back. But instead of pretending he just survived dying like with Michael, Jason literally rised from his grave.
Which means from Friday 6 on, Jason is a zombie, which makes him way more awesome.
Though I didn't know sticking a pole in a body and having it struck by lightning was all it took to make zombies, but hey, I have seen sillier reasons like with
a zombie! A zombie fisherman.
And by the way, it was good old Tommy in his 3rd form who made that happen. You see, after almost taking up the mantle as the new Jason while being mentally disturbed and almost mute, Tommy decided, screw that. He'll be fine in the next film. Besides, the only people he's really interested in killing are the already dead ones in graves. Like Jason! Cause apparently he was dead until Tommy's dumbass double killing attempt. Which I guess double negative Jason back to life?
Or unlife, whatever.
So after fighting a girl with psychic powers and then getting lost in New York and Jason takes Manhattan away from the Muppets, it was time for Jason to
barely appear in his own film. 'Cause he's in hell, I guess. More like this film is Jason's hell. Yes! What was the audience's anyway?
So many chapters after the final chapter, we have The Final Friday, the true final movie in the series, if you don't count Jason X or Freddy vs. Jason.
Or the massive sarcasm quotes remake, the final remake.
Anyway, after turning back into a kid and lost in New York, Jason grew up again. I guess. I don't know what the shit happened at the end of Friday 8. Maybe Jason was just dreaming he was a kid dying in the sewers so he wouldn't have to show up for this film. But yeah, after not ignoring continuity for Jason's revival in the 6th film, they completely ignore it for this one, but that's okay because it's one of this film's themes.
It's not okay.
Now, the first scene is really the only somewhat clever bit I'll give this film. An FBI agent poses as just a random girl staying at a cabin at Camp Crystal Lake as a sting operation to lure Jason. I kinda like this scene because it's a bit self-aware and the silliness of an FBI agent posing as a normal person taking their clothes off to lure Jason. Though you guys probably could have parked your asses a little closer to the cabin, just saying, one trip or slasher killer teleport, and this could have gone very wrong.
Well, the film delivered what it promised. Can we go now?
Oh wait, there's still an hour and 23 minutes left, so how is Jason gonna use that massive brain of his to get out of this one? Seriously though, the makeup job on this one is quite a step down from 7 and 8. Yeah, there's quite a few changes to the overall feel of this film versus any of the other Friday the 13th, and there's a couple reasons. One, it's the first one made in the 90s, and second, and the major factor is it's the first one made under New Line Cinema after getting the property from Paramount.
So different era, different studio, and terrible, terrible ideas of what this series was.
Oh wait, did I say the Jason sting operation was the best part? Because clearly I meant the autopsy was the best part.
Jeez. Third-degree burns over 65% of the anterior torso. It's going to be a real joy to count.
Oh, Raphael, you're so angry. Yeah, not too much. I'm just in the middle of a review. I'm doing this bit where there's these really mundane things going on, and then I cut to really loud music.
After the movie checks to see if you're deaf yet, we learn how we can have a Jason movie without Jason, because despite being blown into pieces, the dark heart of Jason is still beating. So it finds a little mini goalie mask and kills people by itself.
That'd be stupid. And still a better film than this.
Cause clearly Jason's heart just looks so tasty, you gotta take a bite out of it.
Have you had your break today? Yeah.
So yes, this does in fact mean that Jason Voorhees has possessed the coroner. I do seem to recall this happening before in another one of New Line's properties, and I do get the feeling they were thinking more Freddy than Jason with some of the ideas in this film.
Or they were thinking Ghostbusters. Because hey, who isn't thinking Ghostbusters?
So what if Jason's heart had been obliterated in the blast? Or is his heart explosion-proof, just not teeth-proof? Or maybe you could eat just any body part.
Well, he could have always eaten his dick. I really didn't need to go there, now did I? But I did anyway, meta! I guess.
Oh, hey man, tough day. Well, in this line of work, we do tend to get some blood on us, especially around the mouth. And thus begins the Coroner Killing Movie, guest starring Jason in the mirror. This just in, we actually show dead bodies on the news. And apparently Coroner Voorhees killed this guy by scratching his face.
Dead. A coroner. Dead.
Where the hell did we get that footage?
We'll show you an interview conducted with Mr. Creighton Duke just 1 week after Jason's alleged termination. You'll remember Mr. Duke as the bounty hunter, previously responsible for the capture of 6 of this country's most reviled serial killers.
Creighton Duke here will serve as our all-knowing guide to what Jason is.
The supernatural alien thing he is as of this film, that is, of course.
What you think of as Jason is not Jason. That body he's wearing, that's just meat. He wears other people's bodies like folks wear a suit.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Jason was Leatherface.
So when has Jason ever done this? He's changed his mask over the films. I don't know if that's quite like wearing people's bodies. The one time this has happened was the coroner, so for the Dukester to even somehow magically know about this, he had to have been hiding in the morgue and seen that and said, "Switching bodies, I knew it!"
So if you want him dead, truly dead, 500 grand is my fee.
Okay, in some states bounty hunting is legal, but they only have the authority to bring the suspect in for arrest. You can't get away with actually offering to kill on television.
I am prepared to offer Creighton Duke his sum of $500,000, payable only after he provides American Case File and the American people with incontrovertible proof of Jason's existence, and then puts an end to him.
So a television personality just admitted on their show they have put a hit out on a dead man. If this were reality, that would basically mean a witch hunt. And yeah, I'm sure there'd be absolutely no legal ramifications for that. Nope, of course not. So the Dukester is on the case and it's led him straight to Jason's
Sister. So, you have a twin sister. Your feelings have now betrayed her too.
Jason Voorhees is dead.
You know he's not. I know he's not. And he's coming for you.
Hey, you got your Michael in my Jason, and you got your Jason in my Michael. And you know what happens when two great slashers come together? A really dumbass movie.
Yes, really. Jason had a sister this whole time, and he's gonna come after her now. Why? 'Cause he suddenly remembered she existed because of this movie putting her into existence? Or maybe his mother's head finally got around to telling him he had a sister. But in any case, shouldn't Jason, not want to go after his sister? I mean, family seemed to be the one other thing besides killing random people that was important to him, as he is quite the mama's boy. Or maybe he found out that she was the favorite.
Or maybe I should shut up.
Well, I'm not going to. You have no idea how many more camp counselors I would have killed for your sister! Oh, Mom! Jason goes to hell, motivation established, I guess. Oh, and guess what? Jason isn't only a brother, but an uncle and a grand uncle. Aw, Unky Jason! And yes, I know what you're all thinking. The father of Jason's grandniece is in fact John D. LeMay from Friday the 13th, the series.
And it's kind of funny because that series had nothing to do with Jason, and neither does this movie.
Right. Great. Thank you so much. Be right there.
So, where are we headed?
We're going to Camp Crystal Lake.
Where? You do remember they renamed the whole area to Forest Green, right?
No one in Forest Green wants to be reminded of what that maniac did here. That's why we changed the name. People want to forget this was Crystal Lake.
This film doesn't even remember who Jason is. What am I saying?
Jason Voorhees, he's that British secret agent guy, right? Wait, that was 6 that thought that. Okay, not your fault this time, Jason Goes to Hell.
Actually, it is. Fuck it.
Whatever, and in fact, every movie after they renamed the area Forest Green tried to forget that, so it's not completely this one's fault.
Actually, it is. Fuck it.
So, why are you going to the camp?
Well, now that Jason's dead,
We're thinking about smoking some dope, having a little premarital sex, and not worry about getting slaughtered.
Is the old Camp Crystal Lake like the best spot in the world for that or something? Like you were really chomping at the bit to get back in there? I didn't realize that Jason was actually the guardian of the ambrosia of sexual and drug use pleasure.
Come with us. We're thinking of going skinny dipping later.
Ah yes, skinny dipping. That is swimming in your underwear instead of swimsuits, right? Just so you can have that added bonus of having your underwear wet. And, why did this girl come? Hey, we're gonna go have camping sex. I'll be the third wheel. Cool. Or maybe she was just really counting on picking up whatever dumbass picked their dumb hitchhiking asses up. Whatever. Jason kills them right after. Oh, oops. Did I say Jason? I meant Coroner kills them. Was this Coroner like the world's strongest man, or is she just made of jelly? So it's really just gonna be the Coroner Killer movie? Well, not exactly, as Coroner Voorhees next kidnaps a cop. Why? Well, to strip him naked and shave him, of course.
I can safely say I never wanted to know about Jason's sexual fantasies. But if this is what all the anger was about, I'm sure all you had to do, Jason, was wait for the internet to find someone to go for that with you.
Apparently this happens because director Adam Marcus felt that the other Friday the 13th films were kind of sexist with their mostly female nudity, so this fixes it, I guess. But why does it happen in context to the story? The ghost of Jason Past kidnapped this guy to transfer into him. Why? Well, I guess the bodies he uses burn up after time because this guy burns up after Jason leaves him. But that might just be what happens afterwards, but Creighton Duke will say later that none of them can last. So that's that, and he shaved him because...
Jason hates mustaches.
And he stripped him naked because you figure it out. But his reflection still gives him away because souls or slugs or whatever the hell still cast reflections. Especially the reflections of ghost goalie masks. Then Copy Voorhees immediately tries to switch into his sisters. So, what was the point of using this cop guy first? This guy was right by his sister and he had the opportunity to go after her instead, and he couldn't have been really on that big of a time crunch with the coroner burning up if he had the time to strip, bind, and shave him. Or did he think he needed a disguise to attack his sister? Because, you know, attacking her as a coroner would raise suspicion. The bodies get used up because his sluggy soul heart is in them, sure, but a bullet to the brain? Nah, they're still good for a few more miles.
So who's the body-hopping Voorhees gonna leap into next to try and put right what once went wrong, and are his newfound powers gonna get even sillier? Of course. So tune in next time for the conclusion of There Was a Jason Here. He's gone now to see the epic battle between Copy Voorhees and his sister. Okay, never mind.
I don't like this movie, doesn't look too friendly. This monster seems so fake, my nerves are gonna break. Phelous, don't let me down, you need to be around. Grab that running one up and blast that sing a new one. This movie looks shitty. Phelous, so Phelous, bring a multi-comedy of Phelous, so Phelous, and some horror movies of Phelous, so Phelous. I don't care about how you sound, but Phelous, so Phelous, what's your opinion about?
Are you stuck eating leftover Jason hearts at the morgue? Well, be desperate for that wonderful Jason taste no more! Introducing the new Jason Burger! Twice as tasty, and there's no worry of having your soul overwritten.